Hi everyone, hope you're all having a nice day so far. In this video right here, I'm going to be going over the Quantconnect IDE, giving you guys a little introduction to how to use it and giving you all a few tips. So let's get started. The first thing that you're going to want to do is, of course, create your algorithm. Hover over to this tab, left click on it, and it will create your algorithm, give you a nice little framework to start out with. And in this framework, you will see two pretty important functions are automatically generated for you. The first is called initialize. This function will be called when you start backtesting your algorithm. So a lot of the setup is done in this function right here. The second function you have is called onData. OnData is going to be called anytime that you have new stock data passed into your algorithm. Let's go back to the initialize algorithm right here. As you can see, there is a little tab. The very first command that I generate for you starts your algorithm, sets up your algorithm starting date. In this case for us, we're going to be using January 1st, 2019. Then the next thing you're going to want to do, set up your end date. This is done using the self.setEndDate command. We have outlined for you guys that you're going to want to end it on June 30th of 2020. So the way you would write this is year, month, day, 2020, 6/30. Next thing you're going to want to do is set the cash value for our competition. We're going to be using $5 million, standardized for all teams. So that's basically how you set up the date range for your backtest and the amount of money you will be initialized with. Next thing that is going to be important for the algorithm is basically to load in which stocks you're going to be using. So for example, let's say you wanted to use Ford and Tesla. Well, what are you going to do that? To load these stocks into your algorithm, you're going to write self.add equity. And in this add equity code, you are going to, let me finish writing it in. You're going to write in a string the ticker symbol for your security. First one mentioned is Ford, and the second one is Tesla. Now, this add equity command actually requires two inputs. So the first is the string containing your ticker symbol. The second is the resolution of the data that you want. So what does resolution means? Well, whenever your algorithm supplies your algorithm with data, there's a few different kinds of data it could supply. What I mean by this is it could give you stock information for every hour, for every day, for every minute, etc. So the resolution sets the time frame for your data. In this example, we're going to set the resolution to be minutes. So you'd write that as self-resolution.minute so that every minute you get a new row of data for each security. That's it for what I'll show you guys with the initialize command in your algorithm. Next thing that you're going to want to focus on is onData. So anytime that we get new data for Ford and Tesla, in this scenario, every minute of the trading day, this onData function is going to be called. So any kind of command you want to do, any trade you want to make, any update to the framework of your algorithm is most likely going to go through onData. Let me give you guys an example of two functions or two commands that you may find useful. The first, let's say that you don't want to just look at the current price of Tesla, but you also want to look at what was the price 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, etc. For this, we create a new variable. It's called TSLA_HIST, Tesla history. And in this variable, we're going to store the historic price data for Tesla. The way that you can get the last n amount of bars data is with the self.history function. In this history function, there's one caveat you have to make sure you remember. So we can't just type in TSLA as a string into this function, because in the Quantconnect database, in order to retrieve data for security, you have to pass in a security. So in order to pass in a security containing Tesla, you need to have your first argument be self.securities, and then inside of the parentheses, you will write the string for your stock's ticker symbol. So here we wrote self.securities Tesla. Then the second argument you pass in is going to be the window of data you would like. So let's say you wanted to get the price 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, and 3 minutes ago. In that case, your window would be 4, because the very first row of data you retrieve at index 0 will be the current price of Tesla. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you guys with the onData function is simply how would you buy a stock? There are a few different commands you can write to buy securities. You can review all of them in the documentation. One that I'm going to give you guys right now, which in my opinion is the most useful, is the self.setHoldings function. So the way this works is you'll write self.setHoldings, and then the first argument is going to be a string containing the ticker symbol of whatever stock that you want to buy or sell, short sell, etc. The second command is going to be a number between -1 and 1, or actually it could be technically from -infinity to infinity, that represents what percentage of your portfolio do you want to put into the security. If I put 0.8, that means that 80% of my portfolio goes into Ford. If I put -0.8, 80% of my portfolio goes into shorting Ford. I personally believe that set holdings is the optimal command to use for buying a security, because normally when you're trying to optimize your portfolio and basically distribute it among multiple securities, the way you're going to do it is by saying, okay, X% my portfolio goes into Ford, Y% goes into Apple, Z% goes into Tesla, etc., etc. So having one function that can set your holdings to that percentage is very useful. Now, once you have finished writing your algorithm, I recommend that first click this build button. What that will do is basically quickly compile your algorithm to make sure that you don't have any errors, and when you click the backtest button, it'll be able to run. So once you're ready to backtest your algorithm, you'll click this backtest button. There'll be a 20-second delay for using the free tier for Quantconnect. And then once that passes, it will start your backtest. I will show you guys what that looks like in a moment here. Additionally, after the delay, there could be a few more seconds wait as it gets your backtest ready. So we'll see exactly how long that takes here. All right, so as you can see, you get a nice little error message here. Oh, because I made a small error earlier. I put self.securities, I meant to do self.symbol Tesla. So a lot of these functions have similar names. You're going to run into a few instances where you confuse one or two of them. So now going back to making our backtest, since the error has been fixed. Wait again our 20 seconds, whatever few seconds it takes to launch our backtest after that. All right. So as you can see here, while your backtest is running, you're actually going to get a live feed of the algorithm's performance, as well as a few key statistics up top that you can see. This fees part comes from commissions that you would pay to trade these securities. And once your algorithm's backtest finishes, in this overview tab, you will get to see all of the different metrics associated with your performance. All right, that being said, that is about it for what I want to show you for using the ID itself. There is one other aspect I want to introduce you guys to on this website. It is right here, documentation. Whenever you want to learn a bit more about the website and looking for a specific command or a specific category of commands, I highly recommend checking out the documentation directly, because that will basically list out many of the commands you can use, what they will do, how you can use them, etc., etc. If you're looking for something more specific, like you just want to know how to write one specific line of code to have Quantconnect do whatever it is your heart desires, I'd recommend just Googling it, saying in Quantconnect, how do I go on from there. That is basically it for what I want to go over in this video. When you guys are ready to start hopping into Quantconnect, definitely check out the education tab so you can do their tutorials first. And well, good luck everyone. I know you're all going to do great.